Meet the Mathewsons. They're a dynasty of dealers.
It drives really well.
With a love of classics.
It's only condensation.
In Thornton-le-Dale, gateway to the North York Moors, they auction over 2,000 rare vehicles every year.
42,000, the ready type, the stunning car.
All walks of life. The cars fetch people together.
I'm ecstatic.
Head of the family, Derek.
It's got to be the best job ever, isn't it? We're sort of living a dream.
Trusted lieutenants, sons Paul.
Not everybody's cup of tea.
And Dave.
There's Dad's way. And there's Dad's way.
Keeping them all in check and dealing with the punters, Sarah.
Somebody could ring today with some fabulous vehicle that's been sat in a barn for 50 years. You have no clue.
It's the chase, it's finding it. So you get up every morning thinking, what am I going to find today?
This is a family's love affair with cars that have lived a life.
Someone's cherished a car and loved it, and I think it's just great. I think it's absolutely superb.
A passion that can be turned into brass. On sale this week.
Now we've got the star of the show coming up here, 1986 Moskvitch.
A car for the people.
It's a glorious beige box. You can't really get better than that.
1972 MGB GT, very bonny looking thing.
The engines are easy to work on. It's nice to open a bonnet and actually be able to see the bits that you need to fix.
1965 Dot Demon Scrambler.
I think once it gets you and bites you, the bug, it stays with you, you know.
Lot number 7, catering trailer, entered by a classic man.
Have you ever worked in a burger place?
Obviously. I mean, look.
On a patch of wasteland, somewhere near Newcastle, a Cold War classic from the Soviet Union awaits its fate.
This is a Moskvitch, very strong, big heavy old car.
4 million of these iconic Russian cars were made, but only a handful of people liked them.
Yeah, it's an 86.
Justin Ray Brayshaw owns this Type 412.
I just saw it and fell in love with it. The charm is that they're very basic in the way that they're built and constructed. So if you look at the door panel here, you can see they've got the old style window winders which operate correctly. No electric windows there. Rubber mats for easy cleaning, no carpets to hold the moisture on the floor. They're built for simplicity, and it's very much of the ilk of the Eastern Bloc countries manufacturing.
This built like a tank son of Moscow was the first Cold War car to pass European safety laws. With its unsophisticated charm and a rally pedigree, the car sold in some numbers, peaking in 1973. But despite the choice of some new, bright modern colours and a bit of rebranding, the Mosky failed to keep pace, and by 1976, our Russian love affair was over.
The appeal nowadays is the rarity of this type of thing in this country, because at one stage a lot of them were being re-imported back to their home countries because the car was worth more for spare parts in its country of origin than it was as a car in the UK to drive around in.
Justin and his son Toby restore and trade unusual cars. In 1980s Russia, this one would have been a status symbol.
The government used to issue workers with stamps, and once they'd achieved so many stamps, that meant they were then authorised to go and buy a car. Certainly to own a car like that was a little bit of a reward that the government gave you for being a hard worker, behaving yourself, sticking to the rules and bringing your family up with the same ethos as your government basically towing the party line, I suppose.
I'll just restart it again.
Justin thinks now is the right time to sell his Moskvitch.
There's a lot of collectors of this type of car in this country who will pay reasonable money to buy them and will restore them and keep them as part of their own collections.
Dave's heading up to Tyneside to collect Justin's emerging Soviet classic.
Cheap, cheerful, a car for the people. What would be the equivalent UK vehicle? Something mass-produced like the Mini or the Ford Escort or something like that, I would think. They were always built fairly sturdy to stand the rigours of Russian winters and Russian roads.
The Moskvitch is ready to go.
Oh, you're right.
But Dave seems more interested in Justin's other cars.
90,000 miles, full service history, one owner. He paid 11 grand for it.
It was cheap. Oh, well, we were away. I see what you mean about the clutch, though. When you're on, aren't you? Yeah, it makes an exciting drive.
While he's here, Dave's also taking a 50-year-old Mercedes.
It's a 1966 200 diesel. It's a manual car, so it's manual on the column, not on the floor.
Justin's son, Charlie, hasn't got the time to restore it.
It's got the full-length sunroof with the leather seats instead of like a vinyl. To us, I think it's a little bit special.
Who would have had something like this then, Jimmy? You'd have to have a few quid, I'm guessing.
Oh, hired, powered people. I don't know, maybe one's on the wrong side of the law with a bit of cash to burn.
The Mercedes comes with a choice of two engines, petrol and diesel.
The Mercedes is a fair restoration project. You know, the giveaway is the fact the engine's in the boot.
Dave's not that happy about the Moskvitch either.
They're not worth a fortune. 2,000 or 3,000 quid would get you quite a nice one. But I might be proven wrong, hopefully.
These are record-breaking times for Mathewsons.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, no problem at all.
With the business in its 50th year of trading, more cars are going into each auction than ever before.
We've got about 170 vehicles in this auction, so we're pretty well full up.
Yeah, what would it take to burst? I don't know really. We're about there now, really, and we can't really handle any more.
Is this to go in this sale? All this train stuff?
Yeah.
Great. It's very, very chocker block. Can only just get into the toilet.
Sales depend on the website being in order a few days before the auction.
I do most of the website stuff, but I have to hound Derek to do the running order. He does the running order, nobody else.
We're getting better and better at it, aren't we?
I'm further behind than I've been ever since I started working here.
No running order on the website means the catalogue used by bidders on the day can't go to print.
I keep telling them constantly, get on top of the job and get things done as they come in. The thing is, we always leave things to the last minute, don't we, Sarah? That's our trouble. And as such, we have to catch up.
Even the dog don't agree with you.
Yeah, that's right, Oscar. You tell him. What is he talking?
So, what better time for Derek to have said yes to a massive refrigerated truck?
As you know, our policy, Steve, is we never say no.
Adding it as a late entry is a favour to regular buyer John.
I'm not going to bid on this car, no, because I already have one.
If somebody comes along with something that we shouldn't have here, not our sort of thing, if he's a good customer and we've dealt over the years and we think a lot of him, we'll do it.
But there are 25 more vehicles this month than last.
There's 25 more of everything to do. 25 more collections, 25 more descriptions, 25 more photo shots. A massive extra load on all of us, yeah.
If anything else turns up today, it could be a bit tricky.
I'll have a burger, please, Derek.
Yeah, with or without onions. You've got enough sauce as it is. You don't want any more sauce. He's all right with sauce.
Regular buyer Ken wants to sell his renovated open-side shed in New English White. And it's a yes from Derek.
There's guys here, they love seeing that sort of stuff. I've heard them say, and just echoing my thoughts, is that when you go to certain sales, you never know what you're going to see. That's great, isn't it? Different.
I think it's mint. I'll go get some cheese slices from the British shop. What can I get you, love?
Have you ever worked in a burger place?
Obviously. I mean, look.
Dave arrives back at the garage with his uninspiring load. Neither the Moskvitch or the Mercedes are his type of car. But not everyone shares his opinion.
I'll leave that up in a minute. I'm just going to check chassis number.
Brian usually sources and renovates cars for wealthy collectors.
This one, if I got it, it'd be for myself. An investment, to be honest with you. That's what it would be. Something for my daughter. When I'm dead and gone, something she can have.
Like the pension fund?
Yeah, to be honest with you. I know it's not worth a lot of money. 20 grand all done and dusted. But it's a starting point.
Even the Moskvitch has an admirer.
Something you don't see on many modern cars nowadays, but it does have a starting handle.
Johnny Johnson is a dealer.
Even the leaf springs are enclosed.
He's well versed in Moskvich's British touring car racing history.
It still works. Fantastic. In the early 70s, Moskvitch won something like 90% of their class. They were a very strong car, and I think it was Silverstone where they rolled the car about 14 times, and somebody had the unfortunate task of driving it back to London after it was beaten roughly back into shape.
It's got potential. From what I've seen, the structure of the cars there, it's just what you see. This is a full strip back job. You put them into like a big oven and you slowly bring the heat up so it doesn't warp them. Takes hot paint off. Whatever's left is decent metal.
And then you know what you're working with.
Yeah, so you could stick something like this in and you could end up with nothing left at bottom half. So you might only end up with about that much of care.
So it's a gamble doing stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, big gamble, yeah. Yeah, big gamble.
Every year, Mathewsons sell hundreds of MGs.
Almost certainly one of the best roasters we've had. 12.5.
They've just got that something about them that just make it really nice.
Midget, another little midget, nice little midget, bright red. 4,150, thank you very much.
From rare wartime classics...
It's a beautiful car, yeah.
...to wonderfully preserved 1970s GTs.
1970 MGB GT in white, stunning vehicle outside here, I believe.
There's something for everyone's budget.
You're going to drive that home?
Oh, yes.
3 MGTFs, £1,600 plus the commissions. Good value for money. It's a sunny day, what can I say?
You know what MGBs are making these days? They're making an absolute fortune. Third and last time, M13,000, £15,000. You all done? 6. Yours, sir?
Derek's off on a date with a 1974 Roadster.
I started off with a midget, thinking that a midget was a starting point. I went on to an MGB.
Owner Anne is Derek's kind of woman.
And then I went out and bought MGB V8.
A glider pilot who does her own car repairs and has owned a string of MGs and sports cars.
Beautiful one that was, Tahiti blue. And then I went a bit wayward after that, and I got the TR5. That soon went out the window when I found that my mother's teeth wouldn't stay in, and I went out and bought the MGA. We moved to France with the MGA, and I sold it as a steaming profit and bought another MGB V8.
It was the launch of a new midget in 1961 that got things really going again for MG. At less than £500, it had young freedom appeal. It felt fast and sold well. Its big brother, the MGB, rolled out of Abingdon a year later. The faint-hearted could add an optional heater, but factory wire wheels for £35 made it look great. Italian designer Pininfarina was responsible for the beautiful BGT that hit the road in 1965. At under £1,000, it had room for useful stuff, like luggage. 10 years on, and the rubber bumpers arrived to keep the Americans happy and comply with their rules. The cars and sales slowed down as other cars got quicker. In all, a staggering 740,000 midgets and Bs were built from launch. Nearly 60 years on, there's still plenty around, and they still look good.
I'm not really a great lover of this colour. It's sort of colour you don't sort of go for, but it suits the car, you know.
I tell you what, it looks great with that black
yeah,
top
I bet
on.
it does, yeah. Yeah, she's straight and tidy under there, isn't she?
Yeah, it's a gold seal engine as well. So.
Oh, is it? Right, yeah, yeah, all right. Door shuts are good, aren't they?
Yeah,
not all full
nice
of filler, is it? And boot seams are all good, aren't they? Which is a dead giveaway, you know, when I put my finger under it and all that lot's full of filler, gives you a fair idea what the rest of it's like. But
right.
Is there a dent there?
Yeah.
I thought there might be. The only time you put a GB badge there is if it's concealing something. And it just struck me. And Anne's kindly admitted that there's a dent there, but very little, I would imagine.
On the plus side, the car is being sold with a hard top.
See that piece in there? That's called the Surrey end of it, which fits on the back here. It's split, as we can see. Can you have one piece on at a time, then?
Yeah.
You can. She does know her stuff. She's very, very knowledgeable about vehicles in general, and certainly flying, brilliant, I think, really. A glider pilot, by crumbs.
When you get to my age, this is the only way you get whistled at.
Derek normally doesn't let customers load their own cars.
Lovely. Bang on. And drove on, full of confidence, typical glider pilot. Brilliant. Very, very good.
It's a lovely car, actually, and I would have certainly kept it if I was more able to drive it more regularly.
Luckily, help is on hand to commiserate. Anne's brother-in-law, Rodney.
What are you doing here?
Well, Anne's related to us.
Really?
And I said to Anne, why don't you put your car through the auction, like I did?
Rodney recently sold his standard Ensign with Mathewsons.
Lovely car, 3.9.
But then bought a Morris pickup, despite promising his wife he wouldn't buy another car.
I'm going to kick you out. She said, you have to find another place. Mia was the one who played heck about me getting the car back.
I am not going in that pickup. That's what I said, ever.
Well, that's a little bit wrong, because she has actually sat in it, helping me to bleed the brakes.
Yeah, you've got no choice.
What's your secret for surviving auction day?
Drinking lots of gin the night before and the morning of.
It's the day of reckoning for two underappreciated classics.
Right, thank you for your attention. Where's my notes? Here we are.
Brian is here to bid for the wrecked 66 Mercedes 200.
Any vehicles that you're interested in that you would like starting up, please go and see the guys. There'll be only two pleased to do it.
It's unclear whether or not anyone wants the Moskvitch.
Well, I think I've brought some small change in my pocket today, so we might be lucky.
Spare a thought for Andrew. He spent the 70s sitting in the back of one.
It was a time when British Leyland were in turmoil. The Austin 1100s were replaced by the Allegros, and my father refused to pay the price for an Allegro. He went for a Moskvitch, which had a far bigger engine, much more space, and an awful lot more kit. but they were as rough could be at the time.
Moskvitch, anyone?
Andrew now runs an accountancy firm. His staff might be in for a surprise.
I've been in touch with my work colleagues this morning. I don't know whether we can run it as a pool car in the office. I don't know.
1966 200D. All sits out there. Don't worry about moving it, loading it. We'll soon move it and load it. Don't you worry about that. You'll have that on your garage floor before you know what's happened. Very, very rare bit of kit. Make a beautiful motor. We're going to be with it. Come on. Come on. 15, 1500, 16, 17, 17, 1800 pound. Replacement engine. 19 up there on the right. 1900 pound. We'll talk. We'll try. 1900. Provisional only. 19.
Brian puts in the highest provisional bid. He'll negotiate with owner Justin later.
Now we've got the star of the show coming up here. 1986 Moskvitch, the 4-door deluxe. And all those years we were worried about the Cold War, about all this lot getting to the channel. They'd have never stood a chance, would they? Because they'd have all broken down if they were like that, wouldn't they? But it's got a lot of character. So it will find a new home today. It will find a new home.
And Derek knows this because someone has just phoned in with a strong offer.
Your chance. Whereabouts? Is it 500 to start? 500? Come on, 500 straight in. 500. 5, 6, 7, 800. 800 there. 800 the Moskvitch. 8, 9, 900 pound. 950, 950. £1,000, £1,000 there, £1,000 pound, 1,050, submitted, 1,100 in the seats, 1,100, exactly the same as I've got, 1,100, 1,150 is going to buy it, £1,100 for the first, 11 for the second, third and last time, there it is, 1,100, 1,100 sold.
Fellow accountants back at Andrew's firm breathe a sigh of relief. The anonymous pre-auction bidder wins it for £1,100. And although the Merc didn't reach its reserve, Brian still got it for £1,900.
When my wife saw it, she said it's scrappy with this thing. Many people would have put it straight through a crusher, this. But I think it's been saved. Hopefully it's been saved.
Every month, Mathewsons auction dozens of rare and unusual motorbikes.
1969 Bonneville, it's a 1949 Squirrel, Yamaha 100, 1971, nice little bike this, 4,800, 4.8, 1,300, 5.3.
Today, Paul is heading into the heart of North Yorkshire to meet a motorcycle restorer with a racing pedigree.
I hear on the grapevine that he was once the British champion, I think of scrambling or motocross or something similar. So I'm sure he'll tell us a little more when we arrive.
Keith Swires restores rare classics. His latest project, a 1965 250cc Dot Demon Scrambler.
I've enjoyed a long amateur career, you know, with a bit of sponsorship from the oil companies. And the whole gang of us did that for a number of years, and it was a lot of fun.
In his heyday, he raced competitively on both sand and grass tracks. He even competed in the Isle of Man TT. Now retired, restoration is a safer option.
Well, it's what I do now, is do bikes up, and seeing as I can't ride them, I might as well sell this one and buy another project. That's the idea. So, yeah, I would have loved to have ridden it, but I think common sense will have to prevail.
Good morning, Keith. How are you?
All right, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Have you done lots of work, Keith?
The engine didn't need a great deal doing to it. It's been built up as, you know, a collector's bike, really.
Yes.
A little bit of recommissioning and it would be a very competitive pre-65 Scrambler, you know.
Founded in Manchester in 1903, the Dot Motorcycle Company was world-renowned for making superbly engineered and competitive scramblers.
Although they never did win a British Championship, they did very, very well, you know, especially up north here.
Keith couldn't afford a Dot when he was younger. and suspects he may have competed against this very bike.
It was bought by a guy in Goole, so we'd be riding the East York Centre when I was riding.
Right, yes,
That's
yes.
as far as we go, really.
And obviously you won't really remember the bike because normally it would be behind you.
Well, of course, yeah.
He's moving on to his next project and toying with the idea of racing again.
When you're the wrong side of 70, you've got to have a medical every year. You've got to have your eyesight tested. In other words, you've got to have a real good MOT, you know.
That's right.
So far I've passed. I managed to scrape through.
I think the bike's lovely and it will be an asset to somebody. It go into somebody's collection, no doubt. I think he's made a lovely job of it, yeah. Credit to him, absolutely. Anyway, we'll get back before we get any wetter.
The Mathewsons family have their own tea shed. Today, there's a medical emergency.
It's swollen up.
It's all going to be fine though, because Paul is a trained mechanic.
It's in 3 bits. Don't press on my finger because it hurts.
Does it really?
Yeah. Are you going to nip me?
No, let go of it. Put it on top of that one, look. Hey, they're quite tight. That one's off.
Oh, mate.
Ah, they're only plastic cheapy little things, look.
Best silver, that.
Yeah, I'll bet. I can't get into
It's
that one.
It's going to feel like when you go out in a really tight dress and you have to wear them Spanx and you spend all night doing that
I don't know what
and
she's
not
talking
breathing, and then you take them off when you get home and you go, oh! That's what this ring's going to feel like when it's cut off.
There you go, mate. Look at that.
Oh! Right, and you think that wasn't swollen? Look at that. Oh, man.
Do you want to keep them bits?
Yeah, I'll make them into, we can all have a nose ring each.
No. Done. No, I knew you would. There you go, dear. That could be a service.
It's the day of the auction. Derek is tweaking the sound system.
Got that, maybe a little bit more, Jack. Touch more.
Sarah is working through the phone bidding applications.
This gentleman's pressed yes, he'd like to make a telephone bid. And what lot number would you like to make a telephone bid? His answer is any.
There's your number, there's your catalogue, there's a couple of tickets for some teas and coffee.
Thank you.
Are you interested in making a telephone bid or something on it today? You are? Okay. So, you got any chocolate?
Keith is here to watch the Dot Demon Scrambler sell for hopefully a good price. He needs the money to fund his next restoration.
1965, Dot Demon Scrambler, super machine. Start me on that. Where are we going to be? 3,000. 3,000 I've got. 3,000, 3,2, 3,4, 3,400, 3,6, 3,8, 3,800, 3,008, 4,000 the other line, 4,000 on the other line, 4,000, 4,2. Out in the hall, 4,200 and selling, 4,200, 4,002. Are you all done? You sure? 4,2, thank you.
Keith's Dot Demon sells for a decent £4,200.
When you put a lot of work in like that, it's nice when, you know, things turn out okay and you get a bit of a reward for it.
Also heading for the auction, a series of MGs. The ideal entry-level classic.
It's just lovely.
In the showroom, the deal you'll need to beat if you want one.
You wouldn't do nothing to that, would you? Look how straight it is. It's just perfect, isn't it? Yeah. I've fallen in love with it.
Rob Sturrock, known as NG Rob to the Mathewsons, buys more of these cars than any other dealer.
500, 600 maybe, of all varieties. Midgets, BGTs, Roadsters, MG Magnets, Y-Series.
Rob's sort of grown into, I suppose, one of our biggest customers, really. He's been with us from almost the start.
On Rob's shopping list today, a 1972 GT in damask red.
Traditionally, MGs are British Racing Green or tartan red. This is just something a little bit different.
A 1975 MGB GT Jubilee Edition.
They're just a lovely, basic starter classic with a massive following.
He also has his eye on this low-mileage, white 1980 MGB GT.
They tend to go all around the wings, inside the wheel arches, in the boot, so just generally looking for corrosion. You know, it is a limited market because it's rubber bumpers and it's got basically deck chair interior, but it's 24,000 miles. It looks like it's been just so well maintained.
And of course, Anne's MGB, also on Rob's hit list. But first, an MG user's guide to getting the most out of a Yorkshire summer. This pair of seasoned owners have been known to flip the roof in December. Ken Coughlif's pride and joy is this 1973 MGB.
Well, let's face it, this car is the quintessential English-British sports car. It's the best and most produced sports car in the world. It's a good car for a man like me to run around in, spending the kids' inheritance.
Also hoping to spot the sun is Joe Waterhouse. His 1981 car was one of the very last made.
The engines are easy to work on. It's nice to open the bonnet and actually be able to see the bits that you need to fix.
Ilkley Moor is naturally their favourite spot for a spin.
It's got lots of appeal for going out on good days out, because having a sports car is using it. That's what you must do.
There's the drivers and there's the polishers. I'm one of the drivers rather than the polishers.
One has to cope with the fact that everybody else has power steering and you don't on this. This is a bit of an old-fashioned car, discs on the front, drum brakes on the back. She doesn't turn in the smallest of circles, but on the open road, wonderful. And in the dales and the moors of Yorkshire, wonderful open road driving car.
It's quite amusing to watch people, if you zip past them on the motorway, they tend to take a second take, you know. Did I really just see a W-reg car hurtle past me? Buy the best you can afford. And if you haven't got the skill to do it, don't take a risk by buying rust heap, because you will never be satisfied and it will cost you a lot of money. Ready?
It's auction day, and Paul and Charlie are clearing off last night's rain.
Teas and coffees and bacon butty that's pudding are in the far corner of the hall.
1975 MGB GT Jubilee. 2.5, we're off. 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. 2.9 standing. 3, £3,000. 3.1, 3,002, 3,200, 3.3, 3.4, 5, 3,006, 3,600, 7, 3,008, 3,009, 4,000, 4,001, 2, 4.3, 4.3, 4.350, 4.4, 50, 4.450, 4,500, 4.550, 4,006, 50, 4,650, 4,650, 7, 4,750, 4.8, 4,850, 4,850, all done, 4,009, 4,900 and going, 4,950, 4,950, done, 4,950, sold, thank you very much for your bidding, 4,950.
Rob's having to pay more than he wants, and getting a decent deal is how he makes his money. He needs to get the remaining MGs he's after at the right price. There's plenty of them about, but good quality MGs are hard to find. Eyeing up 4 of them at today's auction is dealer Rob Sturrock.
That's too much money for me.
Yeah,
I've got a few on my list.
He's got his work cut out though. Other people have spotted the classy Bs as well.
Don't see many MGB GTs in this condition, 1980, where 5, 1, 2, 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5, 6, 5,006, 7, 5,007, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5,008, 5, 9, 5, 9, down the middle, 5, 9, 6,000, £6,000, both out, 6, 1, 6,001, standing, 6,100, 2, 6,002, 3, 6,003, on the right, 6, 4, 6,400 on the left and going. 6,500. Dare sell it. 6,500. 6,600 on the left and selling. 6,700 he says. 6,700. 6,800. 6,008 on the left. 6,900 he's back in. 7 there, Pidgey. 7,000. 7,000 back in. 7,001. Are you done? Do you want 2? 7,002. 7,300. 7,300 on the left. 7,300. Are you all done? 7,003.
2 down for Rob and a lesson in covert bidding.
Oh, tin aircraft, the lot number 55.
Memorabilia has been selling well.
What have you bought today?
So we have a Richard Garrett.
What's that?
Enamel sign off, well, it'd be off a steam engine, something like that, I would think. I have a small museum, collect tools, nameplates, that type of thing.
Nostalgia is the order of the day.
Brings back lots of memories.
I just think it's really sweet. I saw it in the brochure, I just thought it was just a nice little sort of decorative item type of thing. Might do a little cheeky bid, but not too much. 15, 18 pounds. Yeah.
Racing car rocker, it says, like on the one front. Oh, that's nice. I saw that this morning. Unusual little thing. £30. £30.
Artifacts from the pre-computer era.
When you had to repair cars regularly, every 2-3 weeks, you know, you had to check the oil every week, you know, check the tyres, clean the plugs and the points. But it's just great, you know.
And the things you don't know anything about, grease guns.
That's true.
Lot number 67, 1972 MGB GT. Very nice, bright car. Very bonny looking thing. 4,005, 4,006, 4,700, 4,800. Third and last time. 4,800. On my left, third and last time, 4,800. Provisional 4,800.
3 in the bag for Rob, with Anne's Roadster next up to complete the set.
MGB Roadster. Now, collected this myself as well. Lovely lady. Very switched on lady. 4,000 straight in, 4,100, 4,001, 4,200, 4,002, goodbye, 4,200, last time looking round, 4,200.
MG Rob gets a full house.
All in all, it's been a good day.
There's also good news about the much maligned Moskvitch. Having been given a stay of execution, it's now running better than ever.
It works, that's a bonus.
New owner Stuart knows a bad thing when he sees it.
Just like terrible cars, so I thought these will be the best version of terrible cars.
His cousin Dave, a mechanic in Leeds, has been trying his best to make it less terrible.
Been parked in this unit for the last couple of months, waiting for parts to come from, where are they from?
Ukraine.
From Ukraine. Delivered to Germany first, to another friend and then on to us. The plates only came yesterday to get it registered and now off it goes, thank God.
What don't you like about it?
Everything. The shape, the colour, how it drives. I like classics, but not this one.
Would you go as far as saying it's embarrassing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as quicker it gets back to Glasgow, the better.
It's a glorious beige box. You can't really get better than that.
With a new alternator purring under the weapons-grade bonnet, Stuart's ready to show it off.
Going to the Wartburg and Trabant Club, so going to a meet down in Withall and then going down to Bicester on the Sunday. So, and then another 400 miles home on the Sunday night.
Good luck with that one then.
1965 Dot Demon Scrambler, super machine. 4-2, thank you.
The vintage Scrambler now has pride of place in a large private collection of classic motorcycles. Owner Keith was sad to see it go, but it has funded his next project. And at 75, he's back in the saddle. He'll be keeping this 1972 Yamaha 350 Sports Tourer.
Yeah, it's a popular little bike, and it's made a nice little sprinter, a hill climber for me. Easily worked on, being a two-stroke, there's not to it. You can strip your motor out in less than half an hour and strip down in another hour and a half, you know. So they're easy to work on and very, very well engineered. I think once it gets you and bites you, the bug, it's not literally, but it is fatal. It stays with you, you know.
Sell one, buy one, and keep going. It's a winning formula.
I just don't seem to be able to give it up, so we're doing these little sprints as a bit of fun, you know.
Having successfully renewed his racing licence, Keith will use it at quarter-mile classic bike sprint events.
Those few seconds, you'll live more than you'll live all the rest of the week, you know, in those few seconds of acceleration. And I suppose, yes, it's a rush. That's why we keep trying to do it. I mean, how we'll go on, we don't know. But
Talking of grease...
Lovely thing, fully equipped. 2,800.
The new owner of the burger van is yet to fire up the hot plate, but Derek never doubted this business on wheels would be snapped up at the auction.
Van, we sold it, and whoever bought it's very pleased, and maybe if they get fed up with it or decide to move it on in whatever time, 18 months' time for argument's sake, it'll come back in and someone else can have a go at it. And I think it's great, it makes the world go round, doesn't it?
Sarah was disappointed to see it go, though. She had plans.
We were going to sell burgers with just half a bread bun and call it the topless burger ban. We thought it would have really hit off. Maybe not at children's parties, but stag do's.
Back at his showroom in Norfolk, and Rob's not wasting any time moving the MGs on.
Just completely original. Nothing's been modified with it. It's totally unmolested. It's just a genuine car.
The only thing I'm not keen on is the deck chair seats.
Yeah, well, that's
like
it's
them.
personal choice. I'm not that keen on them, but I've got a lovely anniversary GT over there, which has got a normal fabric trim, which to me looks a lot better than the deck chair.
Yeah,
that's a lot harder wearing. And then of course you go to something 72 car. It's got what you call the traditional leather.
Anne's MG has already sold. And potential customer Steve looks like he'll be buying too.
I've got to the age where I want something to play with, and the modern cars have got no character. The old MGs, they're great fun to drive.
And Rob will be back at Mathewsons next month to see what's on offer.
I got a soft spot for these cars when I was in my late teens. Owned one when I was 17, and quite a few years later, I'm still having a love affair with MGs.